What in the hell are you guys doing? Come on, the show's starting. Get moving.
Yow, yow.
5 minutes later.
Oh, my Schwartz. My Schwartz.
11 minutes later.
Hey, Cecil.
Oh, hi, buddy.
The show is starting, you idiots.
Yes,
moving.
do the show.
Oh,
We should probably go
sweet.
do the thing.
Oh, yeah, go back on, don't we?
Yeah.
Hey, throw some coffee on.
Okay. Oh, yeah, coffee?
No.
All around us. It's all around us. The force is all around us.
All right, boys, I have something to say, though.
Yeah.
It's very strange how your ship looks like a basement.
Well, it is a
You're
house.
looking at me, though.
It-
You're
it is-
looking at me.
It is a house in
Look
space.
over there.
I mean,
Oh, you said one thing. Oh, I know, but I thought you were talking about. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say this is a cold open, right?
No, we're just diving into it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Cold open. I'm starting. And you're looking at me. I'm over there.
Oh,
I'm trying to get you to look over.
oh.
hey,
No, we're
look
good.
at me. Look
go
at
for it.
you. Look
Okay.
at you looking at me. I'm on a horse.
Okay.
All right, welcome to Studio Notes. As you all know, out here in the verse, Disney somehow got all the way out here, and they are now showing episodes 1 through 9.
Somehow,
Somehow
they're Disney.
their reach is terrifying.
They're everywhere.
Well, they made a deal with our network, and now they're showing the original trilogy, the prequels, and the sequel trilogy out here in the verse. Unfortunately, just like it is back home, nobody is watching the sequel trilogy, apparently. They're seeing absolutely no traction in episodes 7, 8, and 9 in regards to the viewership. And I think because of the controversy.
I heard
that's involved.
last week they had an uptick in ratings by
Oh,
2 points.
you can hang your hat on that.
You-
That's a
you wanna
statistical
know-
novelty.
You don't want to know. I think because you and I watched them.
I think it is because of my watch.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So, part of the deal that we have with Disney, our network has with Disney, is that before they show pretty much the prequels and most notably the sequel trilogy, they wanted us, or the veterans, to be able to come down here and make notes, changes that they're going to make before they show it to the rest of the verse. We started with The Force Awakens, and honestly, it was pretty okay. It wasn't bad to start off with. There's some good stuff. There's some good things about Force Awakens.
As a coked out studio exec, I was happy
Yeah.
with The Force Awakens. It's set up.
That's my job.
Is it your job to be coked out?
Yes.
Maybe. Dude,
Gravitational fluctuations.
the
are
IKEA
common.
lamp. It's here for ambiance. And you're just throwing it off the thing.
Like,
Yeah, no, I think that was a good start. It was a
good start.
like off the block.
Yeah.
We're going. We got cool stuff
We
happening.
had a couple rails in us, a couple beers, and then Force Awakens was enjoyable enough. It's got a little things that are really annoying about it, but overall it was an enjoyable experience. Last Jedi, a bit more frustrating, quite a bit more frustrating.
Completely different
A
movie.
completely different movie.
I mean, no
does some
like no
things.
disrespect to Ryan Johnson,
no,
because
I'm a fan.
yeah,
I like his stuff.
but had they just given him one movie to do, he
or a blooper. We'll get into
or
that.
yeah, but it would you know.
It's the most divisive Star Wars movie ever made, so we should get into that.
It's yeah. We're doing a
Last Jedi. I mean, there weren't enough rails or beers at that point to be able to change the film the way we wanted to, so we just kind of just like stayed the course. And then I think we ran out of beer, and our metaphorical Coke was gone for the Rise of Skywalker because that was
metaphorical. Yeah.
that was
Rise of Skywalker. I opted for the Matrix jack in where they just erase stuff from your brain.
I took the Internal Sunshine.
Yeah, I mean, they like it kind of messed up and it erased like the first 10 years of my life, and I still remember Rise of Skywalker. So you know, that's apparently you should read the fine print on those. Anyway,
that movie is a disaster. That movie is a disaster.
Yeah.
So the network has given us charge. We watched all three of the movies, and now we are going to talk about the changes that we are going to make the sequel trilogy to at least make it something functional. Because historically, as we know, there was no plan to tie episodes 7, 8, and 9 together. J.J. Abrams was only on contract to do one Star Wars movie, which he did his job. He killed it. He killed it, so to speak, I guess, within the box office because
This is
one of the highest grossing movies of all
this
time.
is this is where they failed by having no plan to begin with. So we're gonna
exactly that.
cut out all the bullshit.
We're cutting the bullshit out. We're gonna add things, but we've also given ourselves some rules. Like the rules is that we can't just make up anything on the fly, and any changes that we make have to be things that are within the films themselves, and they can be between all three films.
It has to make sense. We can't just
make
yeah.
a bunch of crazy
So what's
stuff.
canon?
We can't have Kylo Ren be made out of metachlorians and he's Yoda's actual like clone brother or something.
But what's canon?
We won't.
Guys, what's canon then?
It's what you put on the pirate ship to shoot other pirate ships.
It's canon is what you make it.
I don't have
That's what you make it.
yeah, I don't
What you make.
I don't have my Disney Lucasfilm Star Wars canon book in front of me, but I think it's what fits into the universe that's been in the main films. Well, and now the TV shows, I guess, are canon, but whatever. They're bringing stuff in from other stuff, so we can't even. We're not even going to get.
It seems like there was a setup in the first movie. There was a sort of a critique of the setup in the second movie, so 8, and then in 9, it seems like they tried to undo that critique for whatever reason, and then he just walked away.
Well, what 9 did specifically was not only did it retcon a lot of the stuff, even the good stuff that The Last Jedi did, but it almost acted as episodes 8 and 9 at the same time, because it was everything that J.J. Abrams apparently wanted to do or had an idea of doing, of having like Rey trained by Leia and all this other stuff that we see in the very beginning of Rise of Skywalker.
Well, Carrie Fisher died, admittedly.
Yeah, and
they handled, and I think they like handled that in a way that was
Creepy.
yeah, no, I think it was okay. I mean, they used footage they already shot, but okay. So let's go back to the beginning and say we're gonna go start at the beginning
and
and
go to Force Awakens.
yes, and the main
Justin.
the main issue I have is that they did not start with a complete outline of a script or even an idea of going from A to B to C. They're like, J. Abrams, make a movie. Brian Johnson, you make a movie. Shit, what do we do for the third one?
The fans are mad.
It's like you're going down this one road, and then all of a sudden it's like I'm gonna go down this road, and everybody's like, where is this gonna go? And JJ was like, let's go back this way, and it's like, you guys should have had a map.
There should have been a map. I mean, there should have been a map.
It should have been like a little pyramid thing that like maybe some sort of like what's it called, like a wayfinder.
Oh God. All right, let's dive. We're going to dive into it right now. Okay. So let's start with The Force Awakens.
Force Awakens.
Okay, so the first note that I have for The Force Awakens is obviously The Force Awakens, when it starts off, we see the planet of Jakku, and we see Kylo Ren's Star Destroyer going overhead.
New planet.
The first change that I would want to make is that as soon as they land, Captain Phasma is leading the charge. Captain Phasma, I think, is the most shortchanged villain that we have, maybe in the entirety of this trilogy. It's supposed to be like a secondary villain that's supposed to be this like badass stormtrooper commando.
And you have absolutely no context for who, what.
Shows up and goes, "What now, sir?"
And then they're like, "Hey, give us some shit, or we're gonna shoot you." And she's like, "All right, I guess."
All right, fire. It's like, what?
Like, wait, what? No, there should be, yeah.
My first note is that as soon as that door lands and the stormtroopers come out, she's the first one out there, just wrecking everything and everybody. So we already have established that Phasma is badass. She's not to be trifled with. Very, very, very scary.
Justin on the couch.
Bingo.
Yeah.
So we introduce Phasma immediately. What do you have a note? To see what's else to follow that. I was like, what were you thinking?
No. My original note was, even as much as I love BB-8, I want to nix him at the very beginning, and I want to replace him with R2.
Oh, okay.
Because that to me is more of a bookend for Star Wars, because R2 and 3PO are basically the main characters in all these films. And like, sure, you have all this stuff going on, but it revolves around these droids and all this crazy stuff that's happening around them. So BB-8 will show up later, but replace him with R2. So like R2's there with Poe, and Phasma comes in, like all this stuff happens, even Kylo comes down, whatever, blah, 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 all this stuff happens. But R2 gets sent out, and he meets Rey.
I like it.
And, there's even a little bit more like she senses some sort of like familiarity with him. And we understand that like maybe she's force sensitive. Like we understand like she doesn't know who he is, he doesn't know who she is, but she's like, there's something familiar about you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's that whole like force sensitivity thing that would bring it in to kind of kick that off.
And Michael for the mindfulness.
Yeah. So that's like my main. I just want to bring R2 into it earlier and not just have him like chilling at the base, being like, I'm like sad Luke left. And he's just chilling in a corner covered in dust and cobwebs. Like, come on, man.
Like astromech droid like depression.
Yeah, and I don't think there's
canon now. Like astromech droids can be.
Yeah, I don't think there's medication for that. Yeah, maybe.
The only other note that I would have in the beginning of the movie is that when Kylo shows up, he shows up with a Knight of Ren. We have to establish the Knights of Ren.
Yeah, we talk about it, and then
much earlier there talks about. I mean, they show up in the Rise of Skywalker. All of them show up in the Rise of Skywalker and don't do anything
except fight him. Yeah, which.
So you have Kylo show up with a Knight of Ren. They confront Max von Sydow's character. I can't remember. Is it Loris? Sir Loris? Whatever.
Totally not memorable. So
totally not memorable.
That like I think his character should have been another Jedi that had survived like Order 66, and like somebody that we would have recognized.
Something we would have recognized.
Not just some like random old dude that were like
random, yeah.
Like, who's this guy? Like,
so we're just gonna trust the movie to tell us that he's important. Okay, I guess.
There's
he's dead now.
Yeah, there's a yell dead. He done be dead.
So we have a Knight of Ren with Kylo.
Justin.
Yeah.
What?
Lorsan Tekka.
Lorsan Tekka. Thank you, Cecil. So Lorsan Tekka.
Yeah, I don't have his figure.
I was gonna say there's no Black Series for that guy. Probably is. Don't have it. So we have Kylo with one of his Knights of Ren. They confront Tekka. The scene happens as is. Poe comes up. He shoots. Kylo blocks it. But then have the other Knight of Ren essentially like instead of having two stormtroopers like and like drag him over, I would love to see that Knight of Ren just basically with the Force just slowly pull him slowly just cross the like you have such a creepy scene of just him being pulled where it's like not only do we know that we're seeing one of the most insanely strong Force users stop a blaster bolt, one, and then two,
which is super cool that we've never seen before. That was like that. Yeah. I remember that. I like seeing that in the theater. I was like, "Whoa, that's really fucking cool."
No, like, what are they gonna do against this dude? This guy
yeah,
blaster bolts. Because I mean, Darth Vader in Rogue One, I mean, he could tank them, like he's like grabbing them and throwing them back, which
Yeah, but
but
yeah,
to legitimately stop one
but
in midair is crazy.
just one little side note for that is we see that's Kylo Ren's entrance, and then he basically sucks at fighting with a lightsaber.
He
Like,
does. Yeah, but I'll go with that one.
I think there's a we'll get to that. That actually happened. I have a note on that. So then we have Kylo blocks the bolt or stops the bolt.
Yeah.
The other Master Knight of Ren
Mhm.
pulls Poe to him. The scene continues as is. Then we go from there, and then we are now with Rey, who's in the Star Destroyer, pilfering and
doing her shit.
doing her shit. Runs into, we find out she gets the portions and whatnot. I was
Portions.
Simon Pegg is killing it.
Yeah.
I was torn between. I do love that she lives inside of a bombed out ATST or AT-AT.
AT-AT, yeah.
A bombed out AT-AT.
Check yourself before you wreck yourself, son.
I do like that a lot. Part of me was like, I wish she would almost like live in the Falcon, but that wouldn't make sense with her running into BB-8 or in this case R2.
Right.
Later on in the story.
So wait, BB-8, you replace Michael?
I replaced BB-8 with R2. Yeah.
With R2.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
like I've got plans for BB-8 later to help out, but like R2 is like kind of like the bookend of hey, it's freaking Star Wars. Look, it's R2.
The fact that they underutilized all these characters is pretty disgusting.
It's
and
how important R2 and
3PO is like
he's like until like
the very
2/3
yeah, he's like, look, I have a red arm.
They have a red arm now. Like
and
explanation as to like what happened to where
like
that came from.
like where what? Okay, cool.
So let me ask you something. Why is it that the directors didn't see all this shit? Like they're like, what the hell? Like seriously, like how is it that they didn't see what you guys are seeing?
I think because they wanted to do something different.
They wanted to do something different enough, but not different enough to piss off fans and to remind the fans of what is familiar and why they love Star Wars in the first place.
Which is the wrong way to like
the sequence and all this other these callbacks. And again, we'll trust me, we'll get to that.
It's like it's like a remake without being a remake, and you did it the wrong way.
Like, and that was the first time we really heard like soft reboot.
Like, yeah.
Why is Grogu fondling me?
He's a hugger.
He likes colors.
He's a cuddly guy.
He is.
But,
you're cute. Very warm.
Bad touch, you know, all cute.
After we get the portions from whatever his name is, Simon Pegg in costume.
Yes.
That guy. Who we only hear his name once. Once he says, like, oh, I'll buy the drawer, 60 portions, she goes, droid's not for sale. I want an additional scene right then and there of them going to the Millennium Falcon. I think we need to establish early because one of the biggest complaints, and I think we know where this comes from, the Mary Sue complaint about Rey. Oh, how does she know how to fly the Falcon already? Dumb shit. I want to have a scene where she's with R2, and having R2 there is perfect because like R2 being on the Falcon would be like, and just like show her all this stuff, and she was like, oh shit, like
Well, and we talked about this before. Yeah. Like, well, all of a sudden, he could just be like, and she's like, wait, what? And he's like, and he's like, and she looks over, and it's like, oh, it's the freaking like, and he can like start it up remotely because that makes sense.
And she goes
now.
Then Rey can go check this out, and then we get to see a simulation of her flying the Falcon.
Yeah.
And being like, yeah, I know this stuff. And like during the simulation, we see her click, 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 doing all this stuff. And R2's just like, whoa, okay, this girl knows her shit. But a scene where we have Rey on the Falcon, having intuitive knowledge of how the Falcon works, even though she can't fly it because she thinks it's a piece of junk and it can't fly.
Right. Well, we talked about it before. Like, when she's eating her food and she's got the X-wing helmet on or whatever, that could be her, like, VR setup that she's got where she's just she's it's like her video game version of like X-wing versus TIE fighter, and she's flying the Falcon, so she knows like all the systems.
The Force guys.
Sort of. But that's the thing is it's not implied enough to say that like the Force is helping her fly the ship. Like
Yes.
she knows how to fly.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know why.
But it's a
We don't. Yeah,
callback
we
to
don't know
when
why.
Luke is
We do
Right.
get an explanation when she and Finn are on the Falcon later on, after the fight that they have with the two TIE fighters, where she goes, I've flown before, but never when like they're celebrating their victory, but that is not enough. Clearly, it wasn't enough.
Yeah,
But
and
she
because the
programmed
internet
flight
complained
simulators, right,
all day.
Dustin? That's what you're getting
Exactly.
well, that's the thing. Is
Flying
like,
simulators.
yeah,
but
that's the
that
thing.
was
Is
not enough
we need
for
to, we need
fans
to we need to have a short scene that establishes that, like, oh, that's why she's proficient. And then if R2 is there, R2's like doing shit and like making stuff work that hasn't worked before.
Exactly.
And,
Which makes
like-
sense when they fly the Falcon later with Finn. R2's done a lot of the legwork where it's just like,
Yeah.
that's messed up. That's messed up. It's like, what are we doing
R2's
here?
like, I'm basically just fucking flying this
Just
thing.
flying this
You
thing.
guys just shoot stuff.
I don't know if it's the beer or the fake Rick James nose candy. But there's a scene that I want to have before that too, which also plays to a later on scene that we have with General Hux. The prequels are loved now, so I don't think there'd be pushback, but we need to have a scene in the Senate where we have General Hux introduced much earlier, going up against Princess Leia, or General Leia, sorry,
Yeah.
at this point. General Leia talking about how she's advocating for a complete rejection of this idea that the First Order is just this organization that is just like, look, hey, we're not Palpatine bad, right? But
Please.
there's a certain structure
Please, son.
that we need in order to be able to run the galaxy efficiently. The New Republic is whatever.
They're like, we just want to be like the state police.
Yeah, we just want to be the police. We want to be the state troopers on the road.
And everybody's like, no, we don't.
General Leia takes the massacre of Jakku because Poe is there. R2 is basically, and then again, R2 is basically retransmitting to Leia, like, yo, some crazy stuff happened on Jakku. Like, the Force Order just butchered an entire village of
See, this is where we could have BB-8 and 3PO or with Leia.
Yeah.
So we can introduce like BB-8 being
I
like
like
the
that, having her
yeah.
BB-8 is essentially Princess or General Leia's robot, and like that's her companion. I like that a lot. Her, yes, that's essentially the R2 stand-in, and then we have 3PO.
And 3PO's there. Yeah,
I like that a lot. That's perfect.
No red arm.
But so we no red arm. So we established that there's tensions between the New Republic and the First Order in terms of, and I mean, General Hux in that speech talks about the lies that they keep spitting to the galaxy, but we don't have any context of what those lies are. We don't ever see Hux, Leia, or anybody having any conversations with the Senate of the New Republic about why does they lie to the galaxy and why the First Order needs to be, like head honchos.
As much as there was a lot of like Senate stuff in the prequel trilogy, it did give you context for like
absolutely it did.
Things that were happening. So now, obviously, they've built this giant Star Killer base, and there could even be like trade disputes or some sort of thing where it's like, we don't understand why like there's been like trade discrepancies or like these blockades, and it's like, why can't we go into this system? And it's like, well, we can't go to this system because there's a giant planet there that's going to blow everything up. Just like there has to be some sort of effect on everything else that they've been building this thing for how many years. And
a planet to be a battle station.
Right? How many resources have they used, and how have they stolen or used or whatever?
How many Gormans have they destroyed?
How many Gormans? Yeah, right.
How many Gormans have they destroyed?
And I'm going to push back a little bit, because when you talk about like with the Galactic Senate and how they're going to bring these ideas to the Galactic Senate, that's like the weakest. I wouldn't even push that. I wouldn't push that. I would. Because it's like, it's just boring. It's like watching our Congress work.
Well, this is why J.J. Abrams is perfect to direct these scenes, because J.J. Abrams, he has quite a few faults. I love it when he directs something he doesn't right, and The Force Awakens is a great example of that. The pace.
You can make it visually appealing, like, yes. And that's the thing. It doesn't have to be a long scene. It can just be, it's just a quick, like, hey, it could be a 2-minute. It could be a 2-minute scene
in the movie
that just explains why things are the way they are, and there's like disruption going on, and you're like, oh shit, stuff's happening. Yeah,
Hux has to have context,
right?
Because I thought the speech was well written, well acted. Because I thought Gleason killed it. I was like,
yeah,
man, I'd love to know what pissed him off so. Because I have no idea. I'm just sitting there going like, okay, I'll take your word for it.
I remember when I was 8 years old and that car ran over my dog.
Yeah, it's just like there needed to be something to
Those
give us some
mother-
sort of indication as to why they're pissed off that they had to do this. But I would imagine that like they could say like we do all this humanitarian stuff and for the first order. We're just trying to reestablish order in areas that you guys are having slipped through the cracks because again, you are a new republic. There are areas of the galaxy where they're running rogue. We're having a lot of crime. We're having a lot of like Black Sun might be back now. Whatever it is,
It's crazy shit. Yeah.
it's crazy. So like, and then of course she submits the evidence of the massacre of Jakku that's been given by R2, and then Hux is just like, oh shit, like you guys couldn't have just like dialed that in a little bit better. You guys couldn't have kept that closer to the chest. And then the Galactic Senate goes, all right, yeah, dude, no, we can't do that. Like that Captain Phasma, like we know those people.
And that could even be like, they're like, oh, we just played that off as like, that's the Knights of Ren. They're just like a offshoot of, like we don't condone what they're doing. Like it could be like a whole other thing. But
I don't
so
think
like,
J.J. Abrams
so
can save you guys. I'm
then-
lost at this point.
And
Okay.
well,
This is boring.
it's not boring. So
again, this is still just a 2-minute sequence. We're just
It's for 5 minutes.
it's gone on for
So the Senate basically,
ever.
So the Senate basically makes their decree, and they're just like, look, the First Order does not have any legitimacy in the eyes of the New Republic. We're going to go with General Leia here, and then we have a scene, a very small one, where General Leia and it's probably Mothma, right? Still running at this point?
Yeah, I would assume so.
Yeah,
I would assume
I
so.
think so.
Where her and Mothma, where she goes, look, what happened at Jakku has happened in all these other places I've been talking about that we've been debating about forever. This is the reason why we need to keep the resistance. Like, I need you to keep helping us out and funneling to like, look, I will funnel as much funds as I can, but people are going to start asking questions about this because if we are flirting towards another civil war, people are not going to have that. And they're going to shut that down. So you need to really rein this in and give me evidence of this Starkiller base. You keep telling me about it. You keep saying there's this planet that's
okay. So our 2-minute Senate scene evolved into 15-minute Senate scene.
It's not 15. It's not 15.
It's actually 10 minutes.
It's not 10.
It's like 7.
It's 5 minutes at most.
5 minutes at most. Okay.
So then we go to Rey, R2 on the Falcon. Then the scene that we have with Finn and Phasma makes a lot more sense, where Finn is basically he choked and couldn't butcher all the people in Jakku. So again, we have Phasma again for another scene. We have more Phasma. We keep that scene with her and Finn right there.
Yeah. Okay. So for the sake of time, because we weren't supposed to spend this much time on the first movie,
No,
how cool?
I don't have much time.
How cool would it be if R2 was on the ship and Han and Chewie get on there and he's like, Chewie, we're home, and R2's like, woo, and he's like,
Exactly.
and Han's like,
Exactly.
holy fuck.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. End of the movie. I'm skipping to the end where
Whoa. I have a couple more.
well, okay. Okay. You insert yours.
Let me
You
speed run these. Let me
insert. Yeah.
run these.
Speed run it.
I'm going to speed run it. So, Starkiller Base is not a base where it fires lasers and blows up planets. That's stupid because, first of all, those planets would not be that close to each other. And if they did explode, that would cause a galactic wide cataclysmic event that is beyond anything that could be comprehended by anything. Starkiller Base needs to be essentially the first prototype of a planet that essentially is like, okay, if we built one, we could build like 3 or 4 more on some dead planets. And they would orbit every other planet within the New Republic. Essentially having like, okay, it's like we have a battalion on every single one of these worlds and you guys don't have jack shit because again, you've rebuilt your armies. There are no clones. It's volunteers.
Like a starbase. Starbase 1.
It's a starbase, but it's a giant planet that essentially orbits other planets. So it's essentially fascism on another rate. But the scene in Force Awakens where we're at Maz Kanata's cantina, the scene where we do see it blow up and whatnot, I want to bring in something might be controversial. I don't care, but it works.
Okay.
So the Starkiller base, essentially, because again, established, as Kylo Ren has said before when he talks about the map, when he talks to Rey about, we found most of the map from the remnants of the old Empire. Well, if they're going to start pilfering from the old Empire, one of the things they can pilfer right away is old Republic, old Imperial technology, which I want to bring in the World Devastators into this. The World Devastators, for those of you who do not know, the World Devastators are essentially these machines who essentially I mean, they essentially they decimate the entire surface of a system. It's essentially a planet killer without being a planet killer.
So what you say is they devastate worlds.
Essentially, yes.
Essentially, yeah.
Essentially.
It's one of the things that
I just try to be clear.
First Order have brought back
Okay.
World Devastators, which most notably has seen the Rogue Squadron video game for Nintendo 64. If you've not played that game, it's fantastic. You should get it. So essentially, that scene where we see all these planets being blown up, it's essentially we're seeing a mass genocide happening in real time. The First Order, all of this humanitarian aid that they've been doing, we've been building these centers and da-da-da. No, these are world devastators that they've had on all of these New Republic planets, because once that speech happens, it's mask off. It's like, fine, if we're not going to get anywhere in the Senate, then we're going to get there by force. They reactivate the world devastators.
Oh, shit up.
We're going to blow shit up. So then when the cantina's a buzz and like I just see a scene in the cantina where people are standing up and being like, what the hell is going on? And all them looking around going like, what is happening? And they're like, world devastators have been sighted on like 9 New Republic planets. So those things are supposed to be relics of the past.
Justin's empire isn't dark enough.
No.
Needs to be darker.
No blowing up planet.
So-
It's you have to literally like scorch the face of the earth.
To-
So now we
to
have
bracket that.
yeah.
Fast forward to Rise of Skywalker, where every single Star Destroyer now has a giant gun on it that can just shoot a planet and blow it up.
That's done.
We
That
don't
is
need the Death
gone.
Star anymore.
That is gone. And that is the done.
Yeah, it's like-
we'll get
It's like the first movie, we build a giant planet that can blow stuff up. Last movie, it's like, every ship just has a gun on it. And we're just like, pew, 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 planets.
why not?
Like, okay, all right, sorry. Yeah, all right.
So then-
yeah.
So we get to start. So Star Killer Base is not a big laser boom, boom, boom. But now the New Republic has the evidence that they need, that not only is the First Order not anywhere in the realm of wanting to be helpful or lead with some sort of integrity within this new galactic order that they built for themselves, they're looking to rule any and everything.
Well, I like the idea of it being not a pew pew planet, but like the cool thing that they could have developed is be like, hey, we built this planet and it can travel at light speed.
Yes.
So it could just be like, it shows up and everybody's like, oh shit. And then it's like, here's 1,000,000 TIE fighters that are going to like show up and
But
That
it's
that
just
to me
like-
is much more devastating.
That- yeah,
than having
is-
lasers.
is-
Now it's like, look, we're running shit.
because we've already done the laser.
We've done the laser twice.
I'm just saying, like,
Oh, look, another super weapon. Yeah.
we gotta do the giant laser again. Do we have to do the giant laser? But mind you, okay, we still like the first movie, so
Yeah, we still like perfect.
yeah.
But yeah, and then so
So, like, really, who's afraid of Kylo Ren at this point, though? Like, I mean, it's like they're warlords everywhere, and you have these Star Destroyers that can blow up planets, and yet there's this, like, young boy that can't even fight with a lightsaber. I mean,
I'm just
seriously.
wearing this helmet because I like the way it looks.
pretty much.
There's absolutely no purpose for it. It helps me breathe better.
Well, okay,
Does it though?
No, it actually fogs up all the time. It's a pain in the fucking ass.
Well, you've actually hit on a small change that I've made. The reason that he keeps hearing the call to the light is because he keeps essentially begging his grandfather's help. It's like help me, like embrace the darkness and da da da. But again, Anakin turned back to the light. So that pull to the light that he keeps feeling is because he keeps trying to get his grandfather to help, pull him back.
Because he wasn't actually like, yeah, like at the he
man.
totally redeemed himself.
Yeah.
redeemed himself.
So he's like, hey, bro, sorry. That would be he's like, Hayden Christensen, he's like, hey, bro. He's like, sorry.
Sorry, do it.
I can't help you.
can't do it.
Yeah, I can't do it.
And then the only other
So-
note that I have at the end is that Chewie shoots Kylo Ren twice, once in the side and once in the shoulder. Because one of the biggest complaints, I don't even want to call them fans, but people who have made their personality Star Wars complained about the most is that, like, oh, what, Rey's just going to pick up a lightsaber and Finn are going to da-da-da-da-da and fight. Da-da. It's like, well, you could say, like, I mean, he's literally beating the side of his.
Right. No, he is hurt.
Up.
Yeah,
This means
for
they have
sure.
him hurt more so they can stop
So
complaining.
yes, I kind of agree a little bit because
I don't
he
want to do it, but
he should
making the
be
notes to sell this.
if he can use the Force to stop a blaster bolt in midair, he could just use the Force to be like trees
Yeah.
dead.
Yeah.
Like, so he's got to be like hurt. I do think he should be hurt more because Ray's had no experience.
Again,
She's had no experience with a lightsaber. Like, she doesn't know what she's doing. I mean,
that's a legit criticism.
I don't have any experience with a lightsaber. If I picked one up, I'd probably be dead within 30 seconds.
Okay, so
Yeah,
I have a question for you guys though. What about Ray and Finn? Is that like brother sister love, or what was happening there?
I think that's a friendship love. It's platonic.
Okay,
like
so
I,
it's platonic.
Yeah,
so this
yeah.
is what I
And
think
I
you
think
should
that's
do with
fine.
the rewrite then. Is
Yeah.
Finn should lead a stormtrooper rebellion.
whoa,
no, wait a second, though.
You're jumping ahead. You're jumping ahead.
No,
you're jumping ahead. You're jumping ahead.
Why are you going to bring in something here?
Let Cecil bring it in. Bring it in.
Okay, no,
bring it in.
Say, like, so there needs to be setup. If I'm jumping ahead, but there needs to be setup because they kind of took Finn and Ray and just sort of turned them into oatmeal. Like they were. I mean, they had the possibility of having, like you say, platonic love, but they didn't really exercise this tension. And I don't mean sexual tension, just the, it was just sort
the
of
force tension. Like
it
Finn,
just kind of
we
feels-
understand like towards the end of right, like Finn is now force sensitive, but we should have done that in the
That's the
first
medical
movie.
organs.
And I do agree. No, I do agree with the rebellion of the troopers, because he can't be the only one. Again, we get that in Rise of Skywalker. There's like other, but there could have been a point where he just had like a quick conversation with another trooper, because he's literally the only trooper where he's like takes off his helmet out of thousands of them. He's the only one. It's like there should have been another scene where he like somebody else is like, dude, that was fucked up, dude. Like, and he's like, yeah. And he's like, I know. He's like,
I have that for you and more in The Last Jedi. That's what I was saying.
okay, all right.
That's
So
what
we
I'm saying.
and we
You're
just
not wrong. You're not
look
wrong.
like Finn, every single one of them.
no, because now they're not
clones.
they're not clones. Yeah, they
No.
they were
Oh,
just
I
they were
missed that.
yeah they
I
were
missed
just
that.
they were basically kidnapping.
dudes.
They were kidnapping children.
Children.
They were kidnapping children. Like he was taking it
dudes.
away from his family when he was a kid,
Oh yeah.
and they made him a stormtrooper. And now he's just
I
like
vaguely remember that.
he's like, I don't want to do this. Like, can I say no? And Phasma's like, put your helmet back on.
But that's the thing. So okay, I'm no spoilers. Keep going.
Okay. So yeah.
No
So that-
spoilers. I mean, these movies have been out for.
No
What's yours now?
spoilers for Justin's.
Oh, right. No spoilers for our pretend stuff.
So then, instead of having that absolutely asinine scene where it's like R2, he's depressed, he needs a sunny afternoon. That's done. He shows up, and then when we have R2 and BB-8 finally meet at the end of The Force Awakens is when we get the map together and we find where Luke Skywalker is. We do the whole thing.
I want R2 to have the map, and he's like actively looking for Luke. Like that's why I want him to be a part of the story, not just be like, oh, I'm sad. Like, no, he's like, what the. I want to try and find him. Like I have 90% of the map, so he's out there doing stuff, and then BB-8 can
Just so you guys
like.
know, if you guys disappear, I won't be sad.
And honestly,
I
I think
won't be looking
BB-8
Thanks.
BB-8 is the last.
We're not going to leave any clues to where we went either.
And I think BB-8 should still have the last portion of the map, so that when he does meet with R2, their conversation is just like, hey bro. It's like, look, I don't know if you have this, but R2's
They like
are you
they
serious?
yeah they fist bump, and it's just like
Yeah.
well, like
And I'll give The Force Awakens this. The last thing before we move on to Last Jedi. I do love the last 35 minutes because at that point when that movie came out, I kind of felt that, okay, we did the retread, we did the laser blow up base, and we're going to do the trench run and redux and whatever and all this other stuff.
Right.
But Kylo, Finn, and Rey, your three principal main characters in this new trilogy, are finally facing off. They have their fight, and now we have the separation. And I thought, leaving the theater, I'm like, wow, I cannot wait to see where they take this, because Han Solo is gone. We're gonna find Luke. We still have Leia here, but it's gonna be these three are gonna be the principals that are gonna lead us into a completely new trilogy that's gonna go in any direction. Or so we
thought
at the time.
we had hoped.
But like that's what I found. I rewatched The Force Awakens. I was like, dude, I'm like, I forgot that I felt that way when I watched
Mhm.
it. I'm like,
No, yeah, I felt the same thing. I was like, yes. I was like, Luke's gonna be badass.
I was like,
This
let's
is gonna
go.
be so cool.
And with that, we're gonna go now into our studio notes for The Last Jedi. The Last Jedi. Immediately. The humor. Know your mama jokes. Done. R2 is brought into this immediately. Actually, no, it's BB-8, who's brought in immediately into The Last Jedi after learning some knowledge from R2. The scene where he's trying to distract General Hux. I want to have a better conversation, a more streamlined conversation, a more tense conversation about where things are, where it stands, something of the effect of basically like, like you do know that like this is like full-blown war. Like the rest of the galaxy doesn't know this yet, but this is where this starts. And we're going to wipe you out first. And anybody else and whatever. Just something that builds the tension while BB-8 is essentially playing hobby knob on all of their systems.
Wait,
So at certain hobby knob, yeah.
Hobby knob.
I don't know what's that.
That's a
phraseology?
Firefly thing. That's something Wash says in the
I
Serenity
get
movie.
but you're mixing your metaphors here, or your scenery, or something. In my
No, it's
brain.
fine.
Metaphors are meant to be mixed.
All right,
Mixed.
sounds good.
They can be mixed. But so and then BB-8 essentially is like, all right, Poe, keep him talking. Got it. And then that's when Poe does his thing, and all of a sudden, where? Like, what is going on around here? And Hux is just like, what's going on? It's just like we can't track them anymore. Like they're taking off. We have no idea what they're doing. You immediately also after that establish Rose Tycho as a mechanical whiz kid.
Like she built the engine that was on that X-wing. Like that would be her main thing. Like because otherwise her character is like I don't even know why
So
she
did
like
you say jettison the humor.
Jettison that humor that your mama joke, like
Okay,
jettison
gotcha.
all of that. That is
because it should have
gone.
been.
right.
It shouldn't be there in the first place.
Hux was terrifying in The Force Awakens, and then that just
We need.
Okay. I'm not gonna lie. I did find that like I'm holding for Hux. And he's like, is he there? And he's like, no, he can hear us. And he's like, still holding. Like I thought that was kind of funny because that's like that. Yeah, like
that's where
that was like like just to buy the time.
And honestly, you could
like
probably lead into Bayho sort of like this is why you're going to lose. Like none of you are serious, which is why we need to start running things. Like this galaxy is a disaster. Like the New Republic is a disaster. It's because of shit like this, of what you're doing right now. So you can easily lead into something.
But the part of that opening, I do like that it does reiterate that Poe is an awesome pilot. I do like that. My notes going back to the island instead of Luke tossing his lightsaber.
I have notes on that too. I'm curious to see what you have to say. I
want R2 to be there with Rey and Chewie, and it's not.
He already is.
No, I mean like literally like up.
How's he gonna get up there? Oh, wait, he can fly up there.
Dude, he's got freaking rocket legs. Like it's
sorry,
it doesn't matter. Like
we didn't see him at all in Force Awakens. I forget that.
Yeah, I mean, would Chewie not want to go immediately see Luke upon arriving at this place, thinking that Luke would be like, "Oh, I just met this Rey chick. She seems cool. I'm just gonna let her go do her thing." I'd be like, "No, like we're all going up there to see Luke."
Real quick, we do that at the end of the Force Awakens. Rey's up there first, and then has a lightsaber in hand, and then we see R2 and then Chewie make their way up the stairs. So we can have all four of them in the shot. Okay, no.
So, see, now I do the opposite way. We just see Rey at the end of The Force Awakens, but we wait until we get back to that shot.
Oh, and then they show
in Last Jedi. Then we pan, and then Chewie and R2 are both there, and Luke's like, shit must be bad.
Do you have him throwing the lightsaber?
No, he doesn't throw the lightsaber. That's freaking ridiculous. No, he doesn't throw the lightsaber.
I don't have.
He hands it back. He's like, I
have him drop it, just sort of like as he's holding it, and he just kind of just can't like handle it, and he just leaves it there. And so when she just sees it, and having her pick that back up immediately, being like what, what?
I would either he either hands it back, or in my case, he gives it to R2, and R2's like, I'll hold on to it for you.
I like that. Yeah, I like that. Well, he'll give it to R2
because that plays into my other thing later. So
no,
at the end, yeah.
R2, yeah,
foreshadowing.
It's foreshadowing. Yeah.
No, keep all the stuff. I love Snoke giving Kylo shit. Like,
Mhm.
take that ridiculous thing off. You don't need it. Like, I love that. That's
Right.
just like more just like
I like the way it feels on my face.
feels
It moisturizes my skin automatically.
And then,
Silly reason he wears it.
and then one of my big notes is the one thing I remember this in the theater. People being like, "That's a choice," and that is when I think Kylo taking out his mom is a great choice. He's like, "I already took out my dad.
Mhm.
I'm going to take out my mom." But I have a change absolutely completely at this point, where as soon as he blows the hole into the side of the ship and people start getting blown out of there,
Mhm.
Leia does not go out into space. She force pushes herself right at the hole and is keeping herself from being in space. And as she does it with one hand, she essentially puts the ship back together with the other by using the force. All the strength that she has with all of her knowledge of the force that we see her doing, that puts the ship back together. And as soon as like it repressurizes and it's complete, then she collapses and dun, and then everyone's just like, "Yo, oh, okay."
My
Like,
scene,
we had no
yeah,
idea.
no, my scene is somewhat similar, where it's like it shows her, she's looking, you see the missiles coming, and she uses the force to like direct the missiles off of where they're gonna hit.
Ooh.
So, but they still cause damage.
Yeah.
So there's still stuff happening, and she like force pushes like a bunch of people off the bridge into like, you know, wherever to get them safe. And then like,
Yes.
and she has to like climb her way out. She like pushes a button, and like the door closes, and she's just like completely exhausted and just like passes out.
Yeah.
Doesn't express the force that way though, right?
Well, that's the thing, is like she can, but we haven't seen it up until that point, until she like becomes space Superman.
Because in
Like-
Rise of Skywalker, I know we're jumping ahead a little bit, but this
Space
but a scene that Mike and I are talking about, like that kind of change with Leia, makes her training Leia in the Rise of Skywalker make way more sense.
Yeah, well, that's like she needs to have more, and even in the first movie, the Force Awakens, like even have a couple of scenes where she might, you know, just get like,
We get one where she feels Han die and she feels the Force.
Yeah,
The Force
but-
basically, like we have that, but we need one.
but we need something else on like a smaller level, where you get that, like, you know, that John Williams, just that like and it's like just something, just a couple things here and there, just to establish that, oh yeah, she's basically a Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
Because all of a sudden she's like flying through space, and you're like, say what now? Like,
Would you say that there's a
what?
feminine and a masculine force? Or I mean, the force is in everybody, you know, blah blah blah, like
In all living
the Zen
things,
thing
yeah.
or whatever. But would you say, because Leia's power really isn't the force as in mental movement of objects, it's more of like that sense of awareness.
well, the Force does take on different attributes depending on the person. I mean, it's like, you know, it's like a Star Wars RPG. Like, what Force points do you want to?
But that's
like,
why I think having like Mike and I are on the same like similar vein in terms of that scene in The Last Jedi, is that we get to see Leia showcase extreme force ability,
No, I
being a
got you.
Skywalker, you know, and then it makes sense in Rise of Skywalker when she's training Regs. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, she can
Right.
essentially fix the ship, save lives, and keep the rebellion or the resistance from dying out just with her force ability. Like that establishes that puts Leia in a completely different.
She could be more like Force sensitive to emotions and feelings and like sensing things. But that's why like showing why showing her like on the bridge, which if like she like did something to like stop that from happening, why it would completely wipe her out, because that's not how she usually uses the Force. She can use it that way, but it's just like she's just like completely drained.
She built her own lightsaber and all that stuff. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So
Sure.
got the power.
Which that comes into play later in my.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Mhm.
No.
And
It's
then, one of the big changes that I have is that Finn, I hate the scene where he's like awake and he's like walking and he's got like all the fluids and everything else like that. I think Finn at that point is just like, F this, F that, whatever. And Finn, we continue his character arc that he's established in The Force Awakens where he is going to ask about Rey, because of course he is. After, like, he's like, the last thing he remembers is, like, Kylo Ren put a lightsaber to my spine, and I'm lucky to be alive. I'm here. I'm hoping Rey made it. So once he finds out that Rey made it, the next thing in his mind should be like, okay, what is our next attack? What's our next plan? Like, if Rey is out there looking for Luke, I know she can hold her own.
He's like, what are we doing?
Now?
Yeah.
Like, what's the plan?
Give me something to do.
He needs to be far more active and less like, oh, I got to leave again. No, F that. No, that's not happening.
Yeah.
No. He could still have a little tracking device that he has that, like, keeps he and Rey together or whatever. But none of this passive Finn. Like, that's done.
Yeah.
He's done at that point.
I want proactive Finn.
He is proactive Finn from now on. And so once he gets the scoop from Poe and everybody else and whatever, then that's when he gets to meet Rose Tycho. And I think Rose, immediately, what I have in my notes is that Leia, while she did save everybody and put the ship back together to a certain point, have Rose in there being like, you put this thing back together, I need that thing over here. So I can have you guys, like, do this coupling over thing. That thing's loose. Like, establish that Rose is mechanically gifted and an asset to the Resistance, and not just this person who's just like, oh, my sister died in a bombing.
I want to get my story for them, like,
absolutely nothing to me.
I completely get rid of the whole Canto Bite, all of that.
Oh no, I keep it, but I think
I know they so Finn knows how to. He thinks he knows how to disable the tracking or whatever on the. He wants to get over to the ship to do it, and instead of, like, bailing and just being like, "Hey, I'm gonna get out of here and just take this escape pod," and I don't think there's no hope. He's like, no, I'm pretty sure I can do this. He's like, but he doesn't want to tell that plan to anybody because he's not certain, and he doesn't want to, like, risk other lives. So he's gonna go do it by himself. He's gonna take the escape pod. He's gonna go to the Star Destroyer, and he's gonna do it himself. And I like all your Rose stuff like that. I still like their, like, thing where she's like, where are you going? Like, I've had all these people escape. And he's like, oh no. He's like, I really have this plan. He's like, I don't want to tell you. And, like, they actually discuss the plan, and she's like, I'm going to help you.
Yeah.
And she goes with him, and they go over there, and it just, like, it skips the whole, like, Canto Bite everything. And they go over to the Star Destroyer, and they, like, try to all that stuff still ensues, but completely getting rid of Benicio del Toro's character. I don't think it serves really any purpose to the story besides being like, we want Benicio del Toro to have a character.
But it's also this idea that you're showing the world,
and then that's it. Like, cool.
It's setting the stage for the moral hypocrisy that we know is, even in a situation where you're fighting for what's right, you have these wealthy elite that are doing things that are, because of the endless war.
What?
Oh yeah,
one thing I forgot about The Force Awakens.
Yes,
my last note that makes sense because of the point that I'm gonna get ready to make here. Pretty soon.
Pretty soon.
Pretty soon here.
Eventually.
No, instead of a random stormtrooper that Finn fights during the Maz Kanata Cantina sequence when the Resistance shows up, he fights Phasma. So we hear traitor. We see her.
Yeah.
Who goes Beskar, and then so that's the first fight that they have. She gets hit with the bowcaster, but she survives because she has her armor.
Right.
All right.
Yep.
Now we're back to The Last Jedi. So you want to get rid of the Canto Bite sequence? I understand why. Understand why.
My replacement scene revolves more around Finn and Rose and Phasma and them getting aboard the ship, and more of like a psychological thing, and like them messing with her and trying to get her to disable the stuff, and rather than like have like a code breaker.
Well, hold on, back to Force Awakens. That's my other note. Is that essentially like Finn instead? Well, actually, we can just keep that to where they jump her again because she's already wounded from the battle. So that, I guess, that can stay. So back to The Last Jedi. So we have
she got shot with a bowcaster. They come back, but instead of like Finn holding the gun against her, it's like Chewie with his bowcaster again, being like, she's like, Jesus Christ. She's like, fine.
That thing before,
right? Yeah, like she still has to have like some like soot on her thing from like getting shot before.
Where she's just
she's like, all right, like I
buy that thing before.
All right,
what do you want?
Yeah, Yeah.
So
But like Finn is like, yeah,
yeah, no, that's gone. Gone.
Yeah, like
gone.
no, it's friggin' Chewie, and he's just like, I'm gonna rip your arms off and shoot you with a bowcaster, and she's like, fine, whatever.
Exactly.
That's more
Which I think they should
intimidating.
have done more of. They should have let Chewie, like, go to town a few times. They never really did.
Yeah.
I was gonna say. So you got rid of the Canto Bite sequence, which I completely understand why. I kept it, but here's the big note, big swing, big change. So there's a scene where it's Poe, Finn, and Rose talking to Maz Kanata, where she's in the middle of like a heated battle, and they're like, "Where are you? What are you doing?" She's like, "That's a story for another time." Which, no more of that crap. No more of that. We need to know what you're.
Yeah, like what's that story? I want that story.
Yeah, I want.
Can we have that story? Because that looks fun. Like
I explained the story in this note.
Yes. Okay.
She talks about essentially there is a code that she goes into exactly like you need to find the code breaker and blah 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 blah. So I Canto Bite. So Rose and Finn decide to go to Canto Bite. Finn and Poe, I have a scene between the two of them where he was just like, you good, buddy? And he was like, yeah. He was like, we can handle this. It's gonna be crazy, but we got this. It's like, do you got this here? And he was just like, yeah, we got this. It's like, hey, they don't need Poe Dameron Resistance pilot. That is not who they need right now. Like, you get me? And he's just kind of like, I get you.
Going with it.
Yeah.
I get you. And so all the stuff that Poe and Holdo, all of this, like, you're a flyboy and you're crazy and that does not happen anymore. I have serious conversations with serious adults. Poe, Leia, and Holdo actually talking strategy. Poe coming up with aggressive ideas, but ideas that aren't off the beaten path and they make sense with the current situation that they are in.
Yeah, it did drive me nuts that Poe's just like, I'm gonna do this thing, and it's like, just stop. Like, should you guys not have had like a conversation about this beforehand? To like,
there should have been you could have had a
like
beautifully staged tense sequence between the three of them, all of them being right, by the way, as to how they need to approach surviving the onslaught in the First Order, because the shields they're going to wear out soon.
Right.
They're going to end up picking them off. So having a scene between the three of them where they're all right to a certain degree, but they just have to come to a common consensus.
They all come to a conclusion where we're like, okay, this makes sense.
So Poe initially early on is accepting the leadership role where it's like, I know I still have more to learn, but you guys know I'm right. Like, we have to do this, this, and this in order to be able to make it. And they're like, yeah, but if we do that and that, we're kind of screwed. Like, so what's your plan for that? And so while they're still figuring it out, Finn and Rose go to Canto Bite, where it's not Finn who's like, oh, wow, look at all the money and the excess and That makes no sense for Finn as a character to be blinded by like the gold tinted.
Yeah, he should be well aware. He's like, shit sucks everywhere. Like
Rose should be the one that's like, dude, I've been on a backwater planet. The only reason I'm even here is because of my gifts mechanically. But I am kind of overwhelmed by the trappings. And it's Finn that gives a speech being like, you see those kids down there? Yeah. I was one of those kids.
Yeah, Finn's like, this place makes me sick.
This place makes me sick because I was one of those kids where I was pulled out of nowhere and I've been made a slave in order to be able to slave to this class.
Yeah.
Like, F these people. Like, who are these people? Like, these people are garbage. Trust me, you want nothing to do with that because I lived that life. I don't even know who my family is anymore. Like, they're dead. They're gone. There's no reason to hold any of this in any sort of high esteem whatsoever. Craziness ensues. They get caught by the code breaker. And what we come to find out is Maz Kanata is actually on Canto Bite in this version. And the reason she's on Canto Bite is she's identified several senators from the New Republic and several old guard from the Empire who were just they're just
hanging out, like they're colluding.
They're having dinner, they're having drinks. Oh, it's all good. And Maz's thing is like, we are going to show everyone in this system and all of these systems of the
This is the stuff that's happening.
You want to know why we keep fighting these perpetual wars? It's because of these people here. It's because we don't have the right senators that have our backs. The money keeps flowing and moving. They make the money off these wars, and if we really want a new republic and a new reality for all of us, this is what we have to expose.
So
And
you're
Maz ends up getting
yeah.
exactly what she wants and starts basically like with all the cameras in there just being like, hey, smile. The entire galaxy can see what you're doing. And of course, everyone's like,
So we need a
So
Maz
flip the
Kanata
script.
political thriller.
yeah.
flip
So
the
like,
script.
flip the script. So then they meet the code breaker because the whole point is that like, okay, we came down here, we will find you because you're going to help us get to the ship, because that's the whole point of what we're doing, is that we need to get on board so we can get the rest of the resistance the hell out of there. Otherwise, we're screwed. So they get the code breaker, but by the time they break out, all hell is broken loose because Maz is down there going like, yeah, just going nuts. Maz is going down there. She's already exposed all of the grifters and like the political douchebags for exactly what they are and the problems that keep persisting in this galaxy while we have a civil war every 20 and 30 years. And she's like, no, it's these guys. So as soon as they get out, all hell is broken loose. And they're like, what is going on around here? Like, dude, they're like, what's, and then we see Maz and she's like, hey, they come together and they're like, look, we basically got them over a barrel. The entire galaxy knows what's going on right now. We'll cause a distraction. You guys get to that ship. Then you have the sequence where they can ride the camels or whatever. I don't care.
Yeah, let's not do that.
I mean,
like,
honestly, like,
can they just like steal a speeder or something? Like that's more like
I
Star
the
Wars.
speeder.
Like just steal a speeder.
The camels, they cause all
Yeah,
the
you
ruckus
just
and
do
I
whatever,
don't like
yeah,
that so much.
Just
They get a speeder, get out of there, and they get caught. Or they get, well, actually, they don't get caught. They get away,
Like
right.
and then they go on the ship.
parenthetical, they get
They
caught,
get caught
a bunch of times.
No, yeah. So they end up getting away, and that continues on as is. Now, the other note that I have is Kylo and Rey. Well, first of all, before we even get to that, I think the Luke arc is perfect. The Last Jedi, I think it's perfect, except I don't have him die. That's a note that I have
He
changed
doesn't
later.
die, he transcends. Come on.
No, well, I don't either. I don't either.
I don't think he dies. He transcends. You know that.
No, I think
Well,
you're gonna like this. You're gonna
yeah.
So Luke again, essentially, all the points that he makes, where it's just like Darth Sidious infiltrated the Senate under the eye of all the Jedi in a republic that should have been able to identify the Dark Lord of the Sith when it was at our doorstep, and they failed to do so.
They put him in charge.
And they put him in charge, which to me makes the scene where Luke thinks about killing Kylo Ren make much more sense. And that works because it's just like, well, if we couldn't recognize it then and I can recognize it now, what do we like? I mean, I completely identify with Luke in that moment, being like, if I cut him down, I can do what they didn't do
right
back then and basically save hundreds of millions of lives and keep a galaxy intact. But I have an extension on that sequence. I have it to where we get to see the establishing moment where Kylo sees that, where he's just like, you're gonna kill me? And he's just like, no, like, I'm sorry, I had a moment, like, maybe you can. And then Kylo's like, well, everything that I've been told has come true, because we have Snoke much earlier established, as in we have an extended Jedi Academy sequence where we get to see Luke's Jedi Academy, where that is where Kylo and the Knights of Ren first meet. Several members of the Knights of Ren, a couple of them, 2 or 3 of them, have already been infiltrated by Snoke, completely turned over, and they're working on Kylo because Snoke realizes that, like, if that's the domino that falls, I win. And I got this. I'll take that out, then I'll take Luke out, and I'll take everything else out entirely.
Right.
So then we have a scene that will relate back to that scene in The Force Awakens where we see R2 and Luke in Rey's vision mourning the loss of the Jedi Temple. We actually get to see that happening, which I think was the greatest failure of the Last
Wait a
Jedi, is that
second,
we
Justin,
don't get to
you'd
see.
be taking down the Jedi once they've returned under that scenario.
Yes.
So that would like eliminate all of these movies that they to bring back the Jedi.
Well, no, it wouldn't eliminate it because in the Legends canon, this kind of happens anyway with Jason Solo. Because Jason and Jaina Solo, which none of this is even
Yeah, it's not anymore. Yeah.
that essentially is what happens. Like Jason essentially turns and just F's everything up. So we're not deviating too far away from it, but we need to have a scene where we get to see Luke fight off as many as we can, try to save as many as we can, but he fails. And we get to see Kylo with his newly minted Knights of Ren, who aren't the Knights of Ren yet. They leave the planet, and Luke sees the crumbling ashes of his new Jedi Academy, like he failed. So having a Luke that had failed and is withdrawn, not withdrawn because he's like, I give up. It's like he's meditating in the Force the whole time, is just like, what is my purpose here at this point? What is it that I am meant to be doing?
Your idea is that would be Luke's whole arc, that he would break the Jedi again, and it would culminate with the entire saga's philosophical arc. That's what you're saying.
Yes, it's.
I'll go with that.
Yeah. So Luke isn't just withdrawn because he's just like, oh, I give up. Everything's too like, oh, it was bad and da da da. No, it's. I came back to the island where, like, the very first Jedi temple to meditate deep within the Force to have a better understanding as to not only what I did wrong, but like, what can I do to right this?
And that's where my story takes over, is where Rey is that catalyst to be like, hey,
she is in mine too.
She kind of gives him a kick in the ass, and at first he's like, no, I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna do this. He's like, like he doesn't keep her outside for days because Chewie is immediately there with R2, and so they actually like talk about things rather than him just being like a dick. And like she's like, I'm just gonna stand out here in the rain and watch you drink milk and fish and stuff. Like, no, like
no, none of that.
Like they talk, and it's more of a philosophical talk and about the Force and all this stuff, and whatever, things happen, and he says like, no, I need to be here now. He's like, I haven't quite figured this out. So she leaves, but then like after they leave, that's when Luke's like, you know what? He's like, he feels something. So he raises
he talk with Yoda.
Yeah. He raises his own X-wing,
which we need to see that. Yeah,
and he leaves like shortly after Rey and Chewie leave, and then I'm just gonna skip to the end of my thing where
go.
Like at the end of the movie when they're on the base and the walkers are coming, they got the laser thing, and like Luke shows up, except in my version it's actually Luke.
Mm-hmm.
He lands in his X-wing, gets out, talks to Leia, and also, so like R2 stayed with Luke, so like R2 was there, he goes to the X-wing with Luke, he shows up. Okay, he shows up, he's with Leia, they talk, they have a little like reunion. R2 shows up, and Luke starts walking out towards all these walkers, and R2 is talking to Leia, and Leia's like, cut to Luke. Luke's out there, and Kylo's all like, draw fire. And instead of it just being like magically, Luke's like actually like taking his lightsaber out, like deflecting all the bolts from the freaking walkers. And then all of a sudden Leia's like, okay. And R2's like, here's Leia's lightsaber. She takes her lightsaber. She hops on a speeder and jumps out there. And it's like Luke and Leia. And then Kylo comes down and he fights both of them. And they like beat him. And it gave everybody time to figure out, like, because Rey and Chewie show up. And they're like, oh shit, we can leave. And then everybody's still alive. And they escape.
So Mike, does Kylo Ren survive?
Yeah, he survives. I think
it's like a weird incestuous.
So I think so. He's fighting his mom and his uncle.
Yeah.
Yes. But I think there needs to be more of a, and we can set this up before, like more of this like whole like he's just like, he wants to be so in tune with the dark side, even though the dark side's just like Vader's like, I fixed everything, man. But he's like, he wants to believe it so much, and I really want them to like really mess him up, like they fuck him up, and he actually becomes more of a Vader because
he's not
like
right now.
He's not. No, he's just pretending. He's just like, I like this. I like the UV things on my mask at night. It makes my skin glow. Like he's like, whatever.
No, so
just a little bit of skin cancer.
We actually overlap quite a bit And then, so I want to go back to the throne room real quick. So the throne room battle happens exactly as it happens.
Yes.
Where Snoke dies, he and Rey fight, they do the thing. But at that point on, I want Rey to have an understanding. When they start having their conversation where he's just like, look, I don't like the First Order either. It doesn't make sense to me. I have an idea of the way the galaxy needs to be. I know that you do too.
More of a empire kind of thing.
Yeah,
Like,
I have an understanding of the way things are supposed to be, and I don't think the First Order can get it done. You and I can get it done, though. That scene plays off as it is, except at that point on, that is the demarcation point. Kylo is the villain for the rest of the trilogy.
Yes.
From that point on,
Kylo needs to be the. That's what I think.
He needs to be a
Like,
badass villain.
here-
yeah, he kills Snoke
to take his
to
place.
take his place and be like, I am now the supreme. I am now the supreme leader, motherfuckers.
This is my thing.
Yeah.
It's over. Like, I'm running this. You are either with me or I'm just gonna choke you out. Like, or the Knights of Ren are gonna take you out. It's done. Like, that's it. And he's the bad guy for the entirety of there's no redemption. Well, I have a little bit, but it's
Like
not,
like they kill the red dudes, whatever those guys are. Oh, I can't remember the guard, the Praetorian Guard. Yeah, and like he could like call in his Knights of Ren, and they like show up in a ship, and they show up.
Knights
and, like,
of Ren replaced.
Yeah, and they just come in, and they're like,
that's how I have it.
and he sits down on the throne, and he's like, and yeah. And Rey's like, oh shit. She's like, I'm out of here. Yeah.
Being just like, oh dude, like, oh, I can't reach you. Like, I guess I can't. Like, I
right.
guess it's just gonna be.
And I don't want them to have their like freaking force cell phone thing to the whole thing either, because that's just
I keep that, but I use it in a completely different context. I'll explain.
It's I don't know, it's weird.
So then we go to Canto Bay scene. Then the scene that we're on the Star Destroyer, this is where we have the end of Phasma. This is the end of Phasma. She and Finn have the fight, but the fight is much more long, much more drawn out. Rose is essentially with BB-8. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to fix one of the ships here. They're like, can we make this thing fly? Because this whole thing is falling apart.
Right.
Can we get this thing operational? And so Rose is actually doing stuff, but I have the code breaker go with them. I don't understand why they would not enlist the code breaker to be a part of the resistance, where it's just like, yeah, they're going to pay you all this money, but they were also going to kill you.
But
as soon as you were done, so you can't stutter your way out of this.
Get away with my life. Like, I love Benicio del Toro, but like, I don't know what he was doing with that character, honestly.
No,
like,
and I have the code breaker doing way more in Rise of Skywalker. Then we have the final fight, to where we've already established in The Force Awakens that they've already had their first fight.
Yep.
He won that one. He gets his ass kicked a little bit. There's going to be scars with this one. Phasma ends up ultimately, I don't have her dying, falling into a bunch of flames. That's stupid. I hate that shit. I have it to where one of the ships that's currently in there explodes and essentially like knocks her through a wall. Like, you're just not getting up from that. It's one of those things. It's not recoverable. She's dead. Then we go to Crate. Once we get to Crate, I'm with you 100%. Rey is like, look, mine whatever you need to mine from here, but like essentially the end of the world is happening on Crate. So I'm gonna go.
I gotta go help my friends.
Go help my friends.
Yeah.
So she goes, and Chewie's just like, Luke, I love you, dog, but she's right. You know she's right. So we gotta go.
We're going on an hour here.
No,
So
we're good. So
are we
on this subject? I think, but it's all good.
So we go to Crate. We go out there, and Leia goes out there first because Kylo comes down and is talking to his mom. Is just like, what the fuck is your deal? Like, what is your issue here? And she's just like, what is your issue?
She just backhands him.
Yeah, and she's just like, do you not understand? And so he talks about the lineage of their family. And she was like, you have no concept of the lineage of our family, because your grandfather, my father, turned to the light. That is what you feel.
So wait.
That is the pull.
Justin, who's the character here?
What?
Which character turned to the light?
talking Anakin. We're talking about
Gotcha.
Anakin.
Okay,
Yeah.
I got lost there.
Yeah.
Your grandfather, like
Yeah.
your grandfather, my father,
Gotcha.
he turned to the light.
Yeah, Leia's
At
like
the end of his life.
Leia's
Like,
again.
not
She's
understand.
like, what the fuck's wrong with you? Like, why are you trying to be like?
Because it's so important that Kylo knows that, and they don't
Yeah.
ever establish that in these movies. So they're having this conversation.
They don't. Yeah,
And
it's
then-
like
Then
it's like,
all of a sudden she's just like, well, I'm gonna have to do what I have to do. Then we have like the battle going on and around, but I have C-3PO and BB-8 essentially being like, look, we can run as much interference as we can on that cannon thing that's gonna blow this thing open, but you got to give us some time. So that's the entire thing. Is that like we got to destroy it? No, it's look, we can give you time. We can befuddle that thing enough to where we can get the hell out of there. Then
it's like
that's when-
BB-8 and like 3PO like take a little like thing to the back and they get in and they're like, oh, shut me down. I've got to find out where to get this. And they like,
Yeah,
they like,
that-
beep, boop, boop,
yes.
boop, boop, and they just like,
That's what I'm saying. You can have a little bit of a comedic moment where our
Yeah.
C-3PO actually does shit. BB-8 helps, and then during that fight,
because the only thing he does in any of these movies is like carry some shit. He's like,
that's it.
and I have a red arm.
And have a red arm. Then R2, then we see the X-wing come through, and then Kylo's just like, "Oh, good, Uncle Luke's here." Luke flies out of the X-wing. R2 takes over, just starts shooting and fighting along with the rest of the guys
Yeah.
below. He lands, and is just like, "Your mom is right. Like, our dad turned to the light at the end of his life. I was there. I
saw it
I
happen.
literally turned him myself.
I held him in my arms.
So this idea that you need to be pulled, that you need to be towards the dark side, that pull towards the light is essentially like the fate of our that's the fate of our family. That's what we're meant to be. Kylo rejects that, and then the three of them have a lightsaber fight.
He's like, I don't care what you think. I just like this helmet. I'm going to do whatever it takes to keep it on.
Star Wars by Carl
And so at this point, Poe is already established as somebody, especially after Holdo makes her sacrifice, as a leader of the rebellion. He was like, okay, they're going to get this thing ready. All right, I want everybody. And so he's organizing people to get ready to move along. So Poe's becoming the leader. They have their fight. And then BB-8 and 3PO are like, all right, we've rigged it to where when this thing blows, it's going to take out all of these walker things. So we need to get the hell out of here.
Right.
So then that's when they turn around and they're like, then Hux is like, they're retreating. Why are they retreating? And they're like, I don't understand what's happening here. And then all of a sudden they're like, sir, there's something going on with the laser.
Like chaos just.
And then Luke and Leia fuck Kylo shit right.
That's what I'm
off.
saying. Like they fuck him up
They
where
fuck
where
him
now
up.
he has to like basically become Darth Vader because like he gets all like jacked up where he's
Yeah,
gonna
they
have to
jack
like
his shit
he's
right
freaking cut
up.
his arm off and like he's gonna have to get all the
Like-
augmentations.
They're like, Leia, come on, we gotta go. And Luke's like, you go, I got you. I'll hold interference. X-wing, Luke gets back in. Luke's a pilot again, starts fucking more shit up.
They all
To
get in the
the
Falcon out the back and
Falcon out the back. And then the laser blows up and takes the legs out of all of those. And then Hux is all fucked. Everybody's all fucked up.
Like,
I have a question.
And then
guys.
Rey
Yeah.
does her force thing, and everyone's like, "Yo, that's nuts."
So-
and then the last Jedi ends exactly the same. Sorry, the Last Jedi ends exactly the same, where the kid ends up picking up. This is important. The kid force pulls the broom because now the stories are like Luke Skywalker came back, his sister's a Jedi, the Resistance literally stood up against Kylo Ren, defeated the first, like all of this, and then the Canto Bight incident. All of these things are domino effects to where now the galaxy is like, okay, dude, we can't do this anymore. Like we have to choose a side. The entire galaxy is like, okay, we have to pull. And that is how The Last Jedi ends. What were you saying, Cecil?
I was just gonna say, like, so, but isn't the point at the very end of the Last Jedi movie that Luke transcends so that we can move into this idea that they're sort of they deny the right and wrong, that there's it's not all black and white, that it's shades of gray. Isn't that the point to all of that when he transcends?
I don't think it's the point of when he transcends. I think it's the point leading up to the transcendence.
That's what I mean. But I mean,
Yes.
and then he's like, I've done my thing, and then he transcends or dies. Or
yeah, I don't think that was like
But what you're suggesting is we're just rehashing what was the point, that you just bring back the first part of the series.
And now we're gonna go into the right
circle.
Yes, because
But-
that's
But now
makes
we go into
the
Rise of
most
Skywalker
that makes the
right
most
now
sense.
because I'm going to answer that question
Okay.
and
All right.
more for
So,
you.
so maybe I'm telegraphing again.
I was
but
going to say,
okay.
I got you. I got you.
Oh wait, no. Before we continue, though, why the hell can't they grow new limbs? I mean, they can go between star systems, but they haven't figured out how to grow limbs, and everyone has to be bionic. You got to get a mechanistic hand if you're Luke, if you get
Hey,
your arm chopped off.
you-
By the way,
look, hey,
what
this
when
happened-
Luke
this happened a
transcends,
long-
Where the hell does his mechanistic arm go?
This happened a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. So
So
I don't know. I don't know how it works.
They
Do
don't
you?
know, but they don't know
You
biology.
you should know. You're the
No, I
one
know.
that's
That's what I'm saying. Is
Ed.
this is totally capable. They should be able to do this.
maybe.
Rise of Skywalker. We're going to do this one right now. So, the way of Rise of Skywalker begins is kind of dumb. So, the light speed skipping and also that is fine, but it's we get
Just
we get
no.
we get the win the war, which
This-
in my mind made me go, wait a minute, this is a war. We have not seen anything in the way in either 7 or 8 to actually show that there is a war going on. So my first note, Rise of Skywalker starts off on a completely different planet, a planet that is being held hostage by the First Order. And we see the kid from The Last Jedi who force pushed the broom. He's a teenager now. And as he's walking out, very much in a complete war zone, the First Order's taking it over and they're like, you need to get back. And he just keeps walking.
They're
forward.
there for like
Get
whatever
back.
resources they need for
Whatever resources
you know
they
to
need.
build a
Yes.
third Death Star, whatever.
Whatever. And so they're like, get back. They're like, what are you doing? And of course, the kid is just like our man from Rogue One, where he's like, I am the Force and the Force is with me.
And he's just like,
And he's walking back and he's like, that's it. And again, boom. And they're like, wait a minute, a Force user. And then all of a sudden, all hell breaks loose. And the Resistance, we show them as a guerrilla fighting unit that is slowly taking territory in an actual war for the soul of this galaxy. So as this is going on,
so they're like shooting some dudes,
shooting some force powers, and they're being led by Lando Calrissian. We bring him in right away. And numb.
Yum yum yum
Yum,
yum.
We see that Lando is established in the very beginning of this, because now we're going to get all of the heroes from the wars previous, the initial fight that we saw in the original
Still
trilogy
doing their thing.
that are brought back. And again, Rise of Skywalker brought them back anyway, because Wedge Antilles is there too. He's leading the battle.
I'm gonna throw Chewie in there too. Like
We see, and again, when the TIE fighters come up, they're getting taken out by X-Wings, and they're being led by Wedge Antilles and the other former Rogue Squadron pilots.
nice.
And so we get established that not only has the Resistance, not only did they survive The Last Jedi, that they're actually thriving and they're turning the tide of the war, because now they have full public support.
They're doing
After the events of Canto Bight, we saw what happened there, the massacre of Jakku, all of these things that once we've added them in, finally build this thing where it's like, look, you now know the individuals who are perpetuating this war, who are making money off of this war, and now you know who the true enemy is.
Yeah.
Let's go. Like there's no more pussyfooting around.
Meanwhile, Kylo's like, send in more TIE fighters.
That scene where they show Kylo Ren with the Knights of Ren killing people, the little montage they have. That's the next scene is right over there. Is that like while they do have these victories, Kylo and his Knights of Ren are just wrecking shit in other areas of the galaxy. We're seeing both sides of the war. We're seeing that like this is a very hotly contested, very evenly fought war. And Kylo, who is now the Grand Poobah of the First Order,
Supreme Leader,
he's the leader, and and again, this is a victory that we see them have. So we see a victory from the rebellion or the Resistance, and we now see a victory from here. And then we go to where our heroes are now, which is Finn and Poe doing whatever the hell they're doing, and then he goes, win the war. And they do the chase. They do the light speed skipping, but another change that is made, and a change that I forgot to mention in The Last Jedi. General Pride, I bring him into The Last Jedi. We don't just see him in The Rise of Skywalker. General Pride is somebody who, along with Snoke brings him in as essentially someone not to really rein him in, but just sort of just, being like, hey, you're a part of the team. Like, like, hey.
Yeah, do you want you
Like,
need a little
we all have
you
the
need a
same
snack?
goal. There's
You need a snack. Just,
I got yogurt.
okay, yeah, we'll
It's
keep
fine.
I
keep
got yogurt.
it's fine.
But Pride is somebody who will establish in The Last Jedi, who is somebody who is essentially the mouthpiece of Snoke when Snoke is not there until we see him in the throne room. And we establish him already as somebody who is a duplicitous figure, the catalyst as to why Hux turns in the first place.
Mhm.
And I actually have, I'll get to that later. So I want to know what you're,
I'll get to that later.
too. But no, so as they do the light speed skipping away, they end up going to like, hey, there's an uncharted planet to where like nobody goes here. Like we can go here, like lay low, and then go back to the system where the resistance is. When they go to that system, they end up finding an old. They're like, oh, this must be an old Imperial shipyard. And then they see Star Destroyers float, and they're like, what the hell's going on? And they're like, oh my god. Then we get to see the entire width and expanse of there is a old school Imperial fleet, an Imperial fleet from the Imperial era. Still exists. It's thriving. It's there. And now we have the propulsion where it's just like, oh my God, it's not just the First Order anymore. Like, we might be fighting a war on several fronts. This is not good.
So I want to see, like, okay, I want to get rid of the whole Emperor bullshit.
Palpatine's gone.
That's gone because
we
that
are united.
like
He's
we're not we
gone in
can't
this version. He's gone.
Yeah, that whole it doesn't make any sense. Like, okay, yeah.
So
No.
Snoke.
Gone. Snoke's dead. Kylo Ren's the bad. Like Kylo Ren,
Kylo's
he
badass.
is the dude from here on out.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
like now that he's Supreme Leader. Like, yeah, there's this planet.
That's it.
They've got all this stuff, and it's a ramshackled. Like, I want them to have the kind of armor. They've thrown it all together. They're not like all pristine and stuff. It's like we are old school Empire dudes, and but we're loyal. We're gonna do this. And Kylo's like, sweet. He's like, let's go fuck some shit up.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go fuck some shit up.
And that's his whole like MO. Like I do have a little redemption thing for him at the end.
Yeah, same.
And it involves Force Ghost Anakin.
He is very present in my Rise of Skywalker as well.
Because that would be like, he just shows up and he's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Hey, he's like your Italian uncle. Like, hey, what the fuck you doing, man?
Talked about this. Okay.
Yeah, did you fucking knock it off?
What is this?
But I basically have to rewrite this whole last movie because
I basically did.
So why do you think they introduced the mask, though? You guys are joking about it, but why do you think they introduced the mask?
The mask is essentially Kylo's way of trying to essentially
emulate,
to ignore the pull of the light, while at the same time emulate what he believes
Vader.
to be, to emulate Vader. But it's also I think those moves with like the helmet and the meditation, is going to finally eliminate that pull to the light that he keeps feeling. Even though it's not
just shroud him.
I don't really like that.
No, well, it is pretty much for him. It is cosplay. Yeah, it's an emotional. Yeah, he's trying to cloak himself in this darkness, basically. Yeah, because even Snoke's like, take that ridiculous mask off.
You don't need it.
You don't.
What are you doing?
Yeah,
makes him look scary.
It makes him look scary. Yeah, it makes him look scary.
It's not somehow Palpatine is returned when they're all back. It's there is a fleet.
Yeah, this whole like
a legitimate like
dyad of the Force and like
Imperial Star Destroyers are on this planet, and then everyone goes like, "Wait a minute! I thought that was like what the First Order," and they're just like, "We don't know what this is, but like this is now a war on two fronts. Whatever Kylo Ren has planned."
Pause for a moment. You're about to get eaten, Justin. There's a mosquito right behind your head, flying around in the light. Sorry.
Oh. It's just where it belongs.
Is that on Justin?
In the light. The darkness and the light.
It was right about to get on you.
Damn things.
No,
Okay, back at it. Sorry.
So,
Just
so the somehow Palpatine return conversation always anybody.
no, you keep talking. I can hear.
So the somehow Palpatine has return conversation has completely changed. It's now it's somehow not just fighting the First Order. There is a armada of battalions, strength in numbers of old Imperial Star Destroyers that we found on this planet.
Without the lasers.
Without lasers. No lasers.
Yeah.
No planet killing lasers.
No lasers. None.
So he has an armada.
It's like, so now a war that we thought was pretty even at this point between wins and losses. Now we really don't know so much anymore. And I want to have a tension between Kylo Ren and General Pride. I don't want Kylo Ren to know that that exists yet. I have a scene where a couple of the members of the Knights of Ren end up stumbling upon this and have reported back to Kylo like, yo, we went to this system based on we were chasing a couple of guys. We were chasing the Millennium Falcon. We ended up on this system. And now there is an entire battalion. There's like all of the remnants of the old Empire and their Imperial fleet on this planet now. What do you want to do about it? And of course, it's like, son of a bitch. Okay, I want to establish that General Pride is essentially trying to angle himself as the new supreme leader because he believes that Kylo is unstable.
Okay.
That Kylo Ren, because of the fact that he killed his father, the fact that he most recently just got his ass kicked by his mom and his uncle. But great. So, like, emotionally, he is not doing well at all. And he is making decisions that he doesn't agree with, the First Order doesn't agree with, and that eventually, at some point, there's going to have to be a change of the guard, and Pride believes himself to be that. So that's where I have General Pride and Kylo Ren having this. So we're already seeing like splinters and divisions in the First Order, which is going to eventually help the Resistance
The
win.
corpse of the Empire.
I hope you could take me seriously.
The corpse of the Empire ends up fracturing this whole alliance. The training sequence between Leia and Rey, I now have Luke, Leia, and Rey. The two of them are teaching her together. And I believe that makes that moment where we see Han, I'm sorry, not Han, Luke and Leia
dead.
when they were younger, training in the Force. I think that gives it even more dimension. Because it's like, hey, I trained you in your past, and now together we are now training. Now we're training the new Jedi. So, and Luke is letting Leia take the lead a little bit because this is where we get to see Luke being like, my part to play in this is very much coming to a close.
Okay, but Justin.
Yeah.
You got Kylo Ren. And his group.
Mm-hmm.
You got Pride and Pride and the Imperial Remnants, or Palpatine is when
Palpatine's gone.
That's not a thing.
Palpatine's
That's
gone.
not a thing, right?
So instead of having this trifecta, you only have a dual interaction, right?
It's a dual. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. So how does that play out then?
Funny you should ask.
Funny you should ask.
Yeah.
So, and the scene with like Zora Bliss and like the code or whatever. It doesn't make any sense at all. So, what I have
so much of this movie doesn't make
any sense.
So
what I have instead is that the planet that they go to has like the Jubilee Festival and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
There's actually an armament around them of like resistance fighters because it's like, yes, continue your tradition, have your festival, but understand, like, we are still very much at war. Like, we have to have the shadow of war hang over everything that happens in every single setting in this movie in order for it to make sense.
Yeah, like somebody's getting pulled in an alley in the back, and there's some like stormtroopers being like, and then all of a sudden you just hear like oh shit, like.
But yeah, so
it happens off camera, but you're like, oh,
camera, yeah.
Stuff's messed up.
Yeah, stuff's messed up. Like we're veering towards the end of the war. Like the end is coming, and they all know this.
The end is nigh.
The end is nigh.
The end is nigh.
And so once we get on the planet, that's when they rendezvous with Lando, Wedge, and the other leaders of the Resistance, and being like, okay, so here's where our victories, and here's this, and here's that. It's
I like that. I like that because now you have two authoritarian figures trying to gain control. I like that.
Yeah. Kylo.
That's cleaner than all the other crap.
It's way cleaner. It just makes way more sense too. Like whatever. And then this is where I introduce General Hux as the spy right here. It's like, look. We know that there is going to be a very massive strategic move that is going to be made by the First Order that is going to be usurped by General Pride in the Imperial forces. He's going to use this as a moment to try to essentially like curtail Kylo Ren's rise to power. Many people died given this information. If we're going to go back to the sequels,
Many Bothans died.
Many Bothans died. So they're like, and so when they're there, Poe's like, and again, Poe is now the leader of the Resistance, essentially.
Right.
It's just like, how did you guys find out in this information? Like, how did you correct? Like, can we substantiate any of this? Like, where is any of this coming from? General Hux is right there, and he shows them and he walks out, and they're like, "What the hell is he doing here?" And he was like, "I defected." Like, it's just of him being like, "I'm the spy. Let's go." Where we don't establish that, it makes no sense. I hated that. That's what he does, though.
It's me.
No,
I'm the spy.
It's funny. That's all.
my
It's
god!
like,
It's me. I'm the spy.
When?
Okay.
In The Last Jedi.
It's okay. I'll take care of this by myself.
Yeah.
Like,
Version of The Last Jedi. Once he sees that Kylo is unstable, and he's just like, none of this is working. Like, I don't even know what I'm fighting for anymore. And then, especially when he gets effed up. After Luke goes in and just tears stuff up and C-3PO and BB-8 take out the laser, which takes out the rest of them, he's just kind of like, this is not it.
He's like, this is not worth it. Like,
this is not it.
I feel like they lose all the intrigue, all of the snakiness. Like, they just sort of gloss over everything in this movie where, in the original one, not the one you're saying, Justin.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I agree with you. I think you need to, if you've introduced intrigue, it's almost like they're playing to an audience of 8-year-old kids rather than making it an authentic sort of saga. And I agree with you. I think they introduce a lot of things that are wasted, I think is what you're saying.
There's a lot of stuff that is right there that they just did not capitalize on, and I never understood that at all when watching the movie, especially watching it this most recent time around.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you have two forces, right? And
so Lando
spy.
Yes. So Hux introduces himself as the spy, and they're all like, "Okay, I guess this is where we're at now." And Hux is just like, "Look, Pride is going to essentially do a mutiny, because while we are having victories with the Knights of Ren and Kylo is more unhinged than ever." After the Battle of Crate, after his mom and his uncle like whooped his ass, he is not doing well, and a lot of decisions he's made, we've lost a lot of ground in the war. And honestly, I don't see an empire. I don't see a galaxy that is better with him running it or Pride. It doesn't make sense to me. I believe, and again, I don't want Hux to completely be like, I'm a good guy now. It's like, look, I believe there should be very strict and stringent order within the galaxy.
Sorry.
But I will help you establish in order to where I would imagine someone with my talents and my discipline would be of use, because I don't want to go as far as they do. Not anymore. But you got to meet me halfway. And they're like, well, we'll get there when we come to it. But yeah, we can figure something out. Just keep helping us. That's when shit hits the fan, where the Knights of Ren, I have a sequence where like the Knights of Ren are like going to shops and they're like, oh, thank you. This is so nice. And they're just like, they're already there.
That's so nice. That's so nice.
And then Rey feels the force. And I have a scene where Rey and Finn at the same time just kind of go like,
okay, Justin, you got to hold those. You got to fix a hole. Hux is still a total authoritarian asshole. He sees so basically he's power hungry and he sees his avenue to power.
No, he's not power hungry at this point. At this point, he's like, look, all I wanted was a galaxy, because when I grew up in the Empire, I was in charge. There was at least some stability in the galaxy. We didn't have all of this insurgencies. We didn't have planets run amok and all this other stuff. I do believe in a very strict semblance of order, but I cannot find what I am looking for within Pride and Kylo Ren because they're going to eat each other alive. I can only hope and establish that, like, whether it be militarily or when it comes to regulations in the Senate, like, I can be of some use, but I know I cannot be of use of them because I don't understand what it is that they are fighting for now. It doesn't make any sense to me. So if that has to go down in order for there to be some sort of order to this galaxy to where there's peace of some kind, okay, it may not be exactly what I want, but I am pragmatic enough to know that this is the only way. You guys are the only way to get this done. It sucks, but you're the only way to get this done, and I will adapt. And they're like, okay, well, we can work with that for now as long as you keep giving us what we need to win this thing. And so they come to a consensus, but again, we see like at like some of the booths and some of the celebrations, the Knights of Ren being like, oh, you know, that's cool, like putting on necklaces, like just like real, like gnarly evil to where it's just like, I'm gonna butcher all of you later, but like, yeah, I'll eat this, I'll eat this thing on a stick. I'll put this necklace on.
Imposition of civilization, but no power hungry. I
So-
want to be.
No, he doesn't want to be a power hungry anything. It's just let me be the arm to where if it's in the military where I need to keep a stringent thing where we need to keep the galaxy safe. Obviously not murder people, but we need fucking discipline. Like that is what I want.
So my notes do not go that into the weeds. I have overarching notes that would drive the whole narrative of this movie.
Fire, go.
So they're on that planet with the celebration thing and blah 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 blah. And Rey does the thing where she does her backflip and slices Kylo's thing and whatever. The ship crashes. And so in my version, Kylo shows up, fights Rey.
Mm-hmm.
The Knights of Ren then come in as they're fighting,
Oh, okay.
and she gets effed up.
Oh.
Like some other people come in, they're like, and they're like, okay, and they get her out of there. But she's like almost dead. And they get her back to like Luke and Leia, who are still alive, and they're talking, and Luke has a conversation with Yoda and Leia, because
Wait, is Yoda there?
Force
Yeah,
Yoda,
Last Jedi.
yeah, Force Yoda, and
Force Yoda. Gotcha. No,
so
no,
yeah,
I got
we
you.
got Force Yoda's
I got
talking
you.
to Luke and Leia, which Leia I don't think has actually ever met Yoda,
No.
so it would be more of a like she's like, oh, so this is the infamous Yoda, the infamous Yoda, and like he has a conversation and be like, well, this is a turning point where you guys have to like make a decision. And they had that whole thing like where they got out of the one thing where like she force healed the thing. So we have force healing's a thing. Long story short is Luke and Leia have to force heal Rey to save her life.
Mm-hmm.
But it drains all the force from them and they become part of the force, like force ghosts.
Oh.
Force ghosts.
So that's how they both
Gotcha.
die.
They transcend.
per se.
That's how they transcend.
So they transcend.
Yeah.
But they put so much of their force and part of themselves into her at the end of the movie when she says I'm Rey Skywalker. It makes so much more fucking sense.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, that's my that was my that's my
I got you there.
that's my
I like
and then the rest of everything happens whatever. And you know, like right
see, the rest of the everything is
no Kylo, like she has her second bout with Kylo after she gets saved by the force healing with Luke and Leia, and they imbue all of their force into her, and now she's like basically like Super Saiyan, like I am the force, and she fights Kylo and defeats him. But rather than straight up like kill him, that's when he gets a vision from Anakin, and it's like, look, Anakin's like, everything you've been doing has been misguided. He's like, it's all wrong. This, like, I don't know how you went down this path. So yeah, Anakin is like talking to Kylo, being like, I don't know what to tell you, man. Like everything you're doing has just been for the wrong reason. And at this point, it's like basically too late for him. It's like, I get it, like I understand. He's like, but I have to finish this. And they fight, and like Rey kills him basically, and she's like, oh, this sucks.
So what do you guys what do you think about that Rey I am Skywalker kind of thing? Because it's the rise of Skywalker, but it's that whole idea
That's
that
why I need, like, there has to be
bloodline.
I've got a version of this.
That's why my
I agree with you,
that,
Mike.
like
I agree with
that
you
would make it make
so
more
it's
sense.
Like spiritually, she's connected.
Yes, not just as in like, oh, I'm a good guy and they're good guys, so makes sense. Like, I'm not gonna call myself Ray Palpatine. Been down that road, doesn't end well. I don't know. Yeah, that's that. And as far as like all the other like nuances to stuff, I like, we'll stick to your movie and then.
Well, let me. All right. I'll speed run real fast.
All right.
So, the Knights of Ren. She ends up fighting two of them, kills both of those two Knights of Ren, and then they have the chase sequence where they're like, they fly now, they fly now. Chewie doesn't accidentally almost die. The thing happens where she does the flip and does whatever.
Yeah.
So the planet that they go to, the Zora Bliss planet, that doesn't happen either. I mean, it happens, but it's not for the reasons that we think.
Okay.
The reason that they go there is because C-3PO absolutely has information that is of an ancient Sith language. But what that ancient Sith proverb is something for Luke specifically. So they're like, okay, well, we need to go there. Like, it's like, Ray, we really don't have time to do that. It's like, no, we really do have to have time to do this because this is important. And so they're doing this for Ray because there needs to be a moment. There's never been a moment between Poe, Finn, and Ray, which is essentially the three leads of this trilogy.
Right.
To where Poe goes, you know what? I'm all in. Whatever it is that you decide to do. So let's do it. That's before then. So Finn goes, okay, so if we're going to gear up for a final battle, then, like we need to make a rendezvous real quick. I have them rendezvousing with an entire, like, essentially, like, army that, like, Ray is like, what the hell is this? And it's just like, well, these are the ones who have been essentially winning your war. And we see that Finn has established essentially a, like, badass, like, fighter squadron unit that is completely comprised of people who have gone away from the First Order. Like him, they've taken off their helmets. Like, that's what Finn has been doing, along with Rose. I have Rose here too. Finn and Rose have been finding those that have rejected the First Order, that know their ways inside and out, and have been essentially just like fucking shit up across the galaxy.
Fucking start a riot.
But I still think Finn should have have that rebellion and fight Phasma. I think that would have been
No, he
better.
kills her in The Last Jedi.
Yeah, but I mean, they should have that whole scene. You know what I'm saying?
No. Like Finn, like we've established Finn is like not wishy-washy anymore. Like, like
no, he straight up like, like he fought her and like
badass.
He jacked her up and was like,
Finn essentially is running a squadron of troops that were former First Order who now have a home within the rebellion. And so they're like, okay, here are the troops. We had to go to this planet either way. Like the Force pushed them there. And instead of having like the dagger is gone.
Yeah, that whole thing. Like I think it'd be cool if like Finn, like I think the vibro swords from like the Old Republic, like they're not lightsabers, but they've got
too sensitive for the.
But the reason that they go to that planet in the first place is because Finn's like,
sensitive enough.
We need to establish contact and ties so we can get this army down. So like as they're doing that, like there's another reason that Rey is called to the planet. And it was it Endor that they were on? If I remember correctly, because it was like the Death Star Part 2. No, it was the actual, no, not the Forest Moon, it was the actual planet that the moon was orbiting.
What are you talking about?
Correct?
The forest moon of Endor. The planet was Endor. The moon was
The moon was with
forest
Endor.
moon.
The forest moon of Endor.
Yeah, the planet was Endor.
Yeah, Endor. Yeah.
So the
Yeah.
the moon was
So
it's just a forest moon. It has
No.
no name.
they're Endor.
It
and I
probably
have-
has it. I'm pretty sure it has a name.
Yeah.
No, and I have her and Anakin, or I'm sorry, not her and Anakin. Oops, I jumped the gun. So when she's there, she's like, okay. Well, she was like, well, while you guys are doing this, she was like, I gotta go do a thing. And Poe's like, she do that a lot. Finn's like, yeah, that's like kind of her thing. Like she just whatever the Force says, she just goes and does. And so what I have it established is that yeah, she does. We do get to go see like the remnants of the second Death Star. That is on Endor. If we're gonna keep that because we have to keep that because we can't pick and choose whatever. We establish these rules for ourselves. Kylo Ren is there because he feels that Rey is there.
He's just like sitting in the throne room.
Because he's trying. Well, because he keeps doing exactly what the Emperor is doing, just being like, "Look, I'm gonna convert you. Like this is gonna be a thing." Okay, so
bring us home.
we're just gonna lightning forward through this. So, in the Rise of Skywalker, the version that we got that was terrible had it where we had a galactic stand on Exegol. Screw all that. In my version, the entire galaxy has risen up, and now we have the entire galaxy is in a no holds barred fight for the future of the Republic. General Hux dies by Pride's hand once he figures out that he is the spy, but not before Hux gives the location of exactly where Kylo Ren is going to be. That he gives to Rey and everything else. So Rey and Kylo end up having their one-on-one duel. But during that duel, when it looks like Rey is about to lose, that is when we get Anakin to show up again. And he's just
Wait, I thought he was already risen.
what?
No, he shows up as a Force Ghost.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
Anakin. Yeah,
gotcha.
And he's like,
Okay.
because in Mike's version, he's already established that he's been talking to Kylo throughout, being like, "Look, that pull towards the light is the same pull that got me too, which is
yeah,
what redeemed me."
a couple of times he's just like,
You should listen. Just listen to him. And so, as Rey's about to be defeated, I'm going to do what they didn't have the balls to do in the Rise of Skywalker version that we got, where it's we not only get Force Ghost Anakin Skywalker, we get Force Ghost Obi-Wan Kenobi,
yes,
Qui-Gon Jinn.
yes.
Everybody is here. Everyone is established just like, look, you don't understand the true nature.
Mace
of
Windu's like, "What's up, motherfuckers?"
with one arm.
it's
And,
like
And Rey has a saber staff. Not a single lightsaber, she has a saber staff. I'm sorry. It is so stupid that she doesn't have a
yeah,
saber
she's had
staff.
the staff the whole time, like on Jakku, like from her original.
Makes no sense.
She's got the that
Wait,
would
who's this?
Rey.
Gotcha.
So the entire galaxy is at war. Finn is leading his resistance troops of former First Orders. Poe is being an absolute badass, leading the resistance. C-3PO, R2, everyone is doing their part in a massive battle across the entire galaxy where every planet on the ground level, on the streets, in the skies,
the people in the
space
streets
are essentially fighting for the freedom of this galaxy. They finally get to Kylo Ren. They finally get to him, and Rey is like, well, what are you going to do now? And it's just like, well, I'm going to burn this whole thing down. You should leave. And Rey's like, are you sure? Like, there might be a place for you here. And Kylo makes the point of, like, I have butchered and slaughtered millions of people. I have done irreparable damage to this galaxy in order to be able to deny essentially what is the fate of every and all Skywalker, which is the pull towards the light. If there's one thing that I can do in order to be able to make this right, it is essentially to self-sacrifice and burn this whole thing down. So during this battle, Rey leaves. The Force Ghosts stay with him, being like, you got this. Like, we will stay with you until the end. And Kylo essentially redirects all troops to attack General Pride and his old Imperial fleet. And so the First Order essentially eats each other alive, and
the resistance is like, okay, take them all out.
They're like, job done, sir.
And so they take them all out, and Kylo Ren's sacrifice essentially is not dissimilar to that scene from Pirates of the Caribbean where he's walking down the steps as the ship is exploding around him. Kylo is essentially watching everything that he built up that he thought was going to be
The bee's knees.
the bee's knee, what is going to establish himself as the
As we
supreme
say.
leader, his legacy, a new legacy of Skywalker. He is watching it crumble down. It is being destroyed. He is finally turned towards the light, but knows that he cannot live to see the beautiful new world that his sacrifice is going to create.
The
Rey
end?
lives.
Oh.
The end.
The end.
Well, in the very last shot, and this is where I have the Rise of Skywalker change, is that we do go back to Tatooine at the end.
Mhm.
But it's Leia and Rey go to Tatooine. I have Luke dying, making a self-sacrifice essentially at a certain point. I think it was when you were saying like the Force healing.
They
certain point
yeah,
he
they
just
both
dies.
have to die to like heal her.
Oh, see,
yeah.
I want Leia to live here.
No, yeah, I have them both. Well, because basically because
But they're-
because
they're
she
ghost
Actually,
Jedi though.
you know,
well,
you're
I'm
right.
in my version it's because they were filming it when she actually died, like when
Yeah.
when
Leia died. Oh, so I'll have it to where Leia
yeah when
dies.
Carrie Fisher died. So that's why I was like,
I'll go with that. So Leia dies, and so Luke and Rey return to Tatooine, and Rey essentially is given like the full width and breadth of Luke's journey, where she's just like, "This is where you were from." It's like, "This is where I was from," and so they bury Leia there. Alderaan, clearly they can't have a funeral there. It gone.
it gone.
It gone, real gone. So they bury Leia there at the old homestead of Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru.
That's gone too, isn't it?
Pretty much. It's
It's decrepit.
No,
Covered-
you get the homestead. I mean, it's still
yeah,
yeah.
it's covered in the sand.
Yeah.
It's still there.
It's
It's
covered in
decrepit.
sand.
It's in the sand. And so then when we have the woman say, like, she recognizes Luke and is just like, "Oh my God, you're Luke Sky." Like, I know who you are. And she's just like, and he's like, "Hello." She's like, "Oh my goodness." And she was like, "Well, who are you?" And before she says anything, she goes, "I'm Rey."
And she claps her hands.
Yes.
And just like that, Luke says she's Rey
Mosquito
Skywalker.
infestation on the ship.
And so, and she goes, "Who are you?" And before Rey says anything, she goes, and it's Luke who establishes, like, no, she's a Skywalker. Like, essentially, she's one of us.
One of us.
One
And
of
so-
us.
That's when I have the final shot of the entire new trilogy is the binary sunset, and it's Luke and Rey staring at the binary sunset.
And R2, because R2 should be there.
You want R2 there too?
Fuck yeah, I do.
He's the best.
Yeah.
The first binary sunset, though.
But he was there at the beginning of my new trilogy, so he should be there at the end. He's like, whatever. Just put R2 there.
He's gotta be there.
Just 'cause.
They're staring at the binary sunset, and it's
humorous too, because you gotta have
Luke
R2
and
staring at the
Rey,
sunset.
who have reestablished a free galaxy. The New Republic can thrive. He can start a new temple, but it started right there with his new apprentice.
And now
Skywalker.
we get the
Dun, 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 dun.
now we get the Skywalker rise of the new Jedi or whatever.
Yep.
I'm just assuming this is on the whole time, so I'm just like
100%. Like, so yeah,
it's really satisfying. This is a really good. I like this.
It's heavy.
it's got the
Nice.
heft.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really like
It's got the heft.
yeah. Thanks Disney.
Thank you, Disney.
Yeah.
This is actually one of the perks that we got. We got gifts when we were assigned to make these studio notes for our
Yeah.
studio here, out here in the verse. Yeah, they really hooked this up. This is really nice. So yes, these are the notes that we are going to submit to the network, to our bosses, so that the edits that you and everybody at home are going to watch
And Michael's
of
gonna
the
do a little
sequel
welding.
trilogy. That does look good on you.
It does.
I can bring you in warm, or I can bring you in cold.
So can you smell your breath when you're in and you have that helmet on?
I've already fogged everything up. I can't see anything. Grogu.
But that is this episode
Get
of
'em.
Studio Notes. We're very glad that you spent this time with us. Be on the lookout because very soon we will announce dates on the next radio show as to when 1 through 9 are going to be airing through our network, the network that we are on, GNN. Thank you for joining us for Studio Notes.
Hasta
Mike,
la vista,
Justin, Cecil.
Laters.
Grogu.